like, I don't even remember this person's name anymore. Like, you remember their face and you're like, this guy was an asshole, but I don't remember his name.
Yep.
Yeah, or you have.
I meet them.
Or remember what you used to call them. You know, like just the.
I remember their nicknames,
Yeah.
I meet them, then I don't remember their names, so I introduce them to others.
Have you met my friend Nayantara? Nayantara, please introduce yourself to this gentleman.
So when we were in kindergarten, also they used to take photos like this one, like in Sacred Heart Boys School. And like all the boys would like pose normally. I was the only weird kid who every year would think of something different. Okay, I'm like, I have to stand out in the photos. So one year I'm standing like this. Okay, all the boys are like this. I'm like this. One year I'm looking away. Like at 4 years old, I'm like, if I look away, I'll look cooler. Okay, so if people have like, you know, we play the game and family comes over, okay, find me. This is you. The most odd one is just like you. It's hilarious.
Nice. Chalo, let us start.
We have been recording by the way.
Yeah, we have been recording. Okay. Chalo. Here we go.
Varta Lab.
Varta Lab. College में ना first year का एक festival होता था called Voyage, where all the first years would display their talents to the second, third, fourth. It was a very voyeuristic experience. It was.
It's a new way of ragging essentially.
Yeah, it was like Nach Chameli, Nach.
Yeah.
No, but even some of the serious, there's a guy called Manav, they made him dance to Mera Chain When Sab Ujada every opportunity they got. So even though he was a fifth year student for the third time or something, he still did Mere Chain When Sab Ujada.
He must have enjoyed it. Like sometimes people like showing off in college festivals. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's just like one of those things where like they're like, do your trademark thing, and they're all like, yeah, I'll do my thing.
Yeah, it was like every family function or every Ganpati function in the building or every single office outside. ये गाता है ना? ये वाला गाता है, इससे कहो ना, ये गाएगा.
Yeah.
And it's that one song only that they sing. Anyway, I had to introduce the guests.
We forgot about it, yeah.
With us are the founders of Misfits. We have Savinay and we have Nayantara. Hello, Savinay.
Hi.
Hi, Nayantara.
Hello.
Just now you know what they sound like. In case you get confused as who is who.
So Misfits Incorporated is the full name.
Misfits in Cooperation. That's why Misfits Inc.
Okay, like Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
That he'll be able to answer.
As in, it just came up randomly, honestly speaking. I had left this company I joined and worked for 5 years.
Yeah.
And many people were suggesting you should just start your company. I was like, no, I don't think so and all that shit. So one of my friend who also happens to be our legal consultant and stuff like that was just like, I'm registering a company.
Yeah.
You just tell me what you want to name it. I just remembered one show which I was used to watch when I was studying in UK called Misfits. And it was a great show where basically they were like juvenile students but various different superpowers.
Yeah.
Individually still they were like useless kind of vibe. But like when they come together they were like a unit.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. Misfits working in cooperation.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
They only had 2 seasons of the show, na? They had like
Yeah.
They couldn't fund it further. It was low budget. Like you could see the action.
It's a very rude thing to say. Francis just told you that's what the company is based on.
I'm talking about a show. Like the fact that it inspired him is great because BBC could have put more money and made it better because the show became famous despite the fact that they had no budget. So I was getting there.
Yeah.
We used to watch on TV.
I see the bad shit first and then I go to the good part. Haven't you known me enough? Like there's no like point for improvement and then what makes you nice.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. It's been a rough tour, man.
Fuck. We have been on tour essentially, and and
who better to understand the plight of an artist on tour than artist managers?
Because we're like constantly venting. We have no other outlet. Essentially, just that because Aakash and I have the same manager, Utkarsh, and I think he from both sides he gets it. And doesn't like it that way.
And the worst is he's also an artist, right? Like he plays for Fox in the Garden, he plays for Pacifist.
Nice.
So he's also gigging. I am also gigging on the same day, and I don't know whether to text him or not because I'm like, नहीं ये भी बेचारा zone में घुस रहा है, तो मैं इसको बोलूँ कि ना बोलूँ. The most he'll send back is a poopy emoji.
For me he tells poops only. He doesn't send me the emojis. Like because your life is so shit, it makes sense.
Yeah. How did y'all meet?
We met doing work actually.
Yeah.
Orange Juice is when we met. We were working on the show for Johnny Walker The Journey.
Right.
Yeah.
She also joined then. We met each other. Then cut to she was on our life. I was continuing with my life, but I left Orange Juice next year.
Yeah.
And then I was taking up consultancy projects. So we took a project and then we needed people. I thought of her. She joined.
Yeah.
And since then we've been just like working with each other somehow or the other. Then after that OML also happened.
Yeah.
Just crossing roads at every point. So even after that first project where we worked together was OG Entertainment. And then and then after that we were at OML. I left OML because I could not do it. And then after that, he was still at OML, and I bounced a bunch of places. And then finally, the same day that he quit his job, surprisingly, I quit my job. And then he was like, okay, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what, let's just give it a shot. Let's do it. What the heck?
I remember meeting Savinay just after this had gotten over. And when we were just figuring out Misfits, we met in Khar Social.
Yeah.
And I remember, but like Savinay always feels like somebody who has a plan. Like I was very convinced with whatever his plan was. I didn't know the plan yet, but I was like, yes, ye to karne layak hai. But I already had Utkarsh at that point, so it didn't go any further.
It's also because like it's like a weird twist of fate also because one of your first clients was Karunesh, right?
Yeah.
And who was then managed by my manager Nanak.
Yeah.
And it was Nanak's health issue that caused all of us to like kind of find new management.
Yeah.
So Karunesh went with
That's
you
why
guys.
even we started working with him because we helped him with few international tours, not managing as such. But then I think work was piling upon him. And
because
can
because
you help
Nanak
him?
had
Definitely.
kind of planned this out for him and then couldn't do it.
Correct.
So at same time, like Aditya and I were supposed to go to Philippines, and the financial part of it was not discussed,
Right.
and then that show never happened. And I was like, I want to go to Philippines, dude, because they have like, even though it's an Islamic country, they have like way too much freedom for queer people, like drag culture and everything is way much like accepted over there.
Nice.
So I was like, but then I got to go to Australia eventually, so it's like cool.
Yeah. That worked out very well, dude.
Yeah.
You went to Australia just before the pandemic.
Yeah, just like the hilarity of it was, I come back on March 2nd, I land back in Bombay, and March 5th I go to my mom, I'm like, देखो माँ मैं तुम्हारे लिए क्या क्या लाया हूँ, like all like Australia, so you get the goodies and everything.
Nice.
And then I'm sitting on the couch, like she's giving food and all. I'm like, wow, what, because March is going to be like now the Circuit Comedy Festival is coming, and then there's more traveling and there's more touring, and I'm like fully geared up for
Did
it.
you go for Melbourne Comedy Festival?
No, Melbourne.
Right?
Ek month pehle we had done a tour called Spiced Night, which was supposed to be 4 Asian queer comics touring 5 cities in Australia.
Nice.
One of its first kind, like, and Mardi Gras had kind of helped sponsor all of that. It was great, and I got to attend the Mardi Gras also, like 50,000 queer people on the streets of Sydney.
Full ekdam
Yeah, like beer bottles everywhere, like that. You have to be careful after some point.
That's what my eventual dance move is in any social situation. If I'm
Dude, like people are taking out tops off and all. It was crazy, men and women and everybody else.
Yeah,
and it was great. And then I came back and like I'm sitting on the couch and I get the information that all the shows for the next month are just cancelled.
everything is gone.
I'm like, Mom, can I have some chocolates back? I'm going into lockdown mode. But it was nice. Like the fact that I think I look at the pandemic as a very important learning curve for all of us. I mean, like for several people, death loss happened. Like, families were ruined and everything. Of course, but we can't mull over it forever. At some point, what has been like the takeaway from this whole thing? For me, I think a writer comic surviving in this climate, somehow I made it through, man. Like it's just like been the most like, if I can do this, then maybe life is not going to be that crazy after this,
But it's very interesting to me because like it was tough for us as artists. How was it for y'all? Because I mean, it's you're down the chain of revenue from the artists, right? So like artists ही नहीं कमा रहे थे. तुम लोग कैसे किया? क्या किया तुम लोग?
We figured somehow, as in honestly, it was tough for us on all levels, personal and professional. Personal had a loss in my family. My dad passed away. So then obviously we had to figure that, but then she was a backing support. When we figured a lot of projects which were more on the licensing and curation side of things. Obviously first one was the Amazon special that we cracked for Karunesh. That helped us, and then there was Ankur Tiwari's MTV Sound Tripping and like such few shows coming in. And then anyways, because we were so consumed in the live shows and bookings and touring and stuff like that, we couldn't focus on the hygiene part of things where musicians especially needed to do their IPR stuff and rights management and stuff like that. Again, with Rafael's help, basically that kind of guided us, and Ankur being a key part in the company and obviously helping us to set it up. He guided us how music supervision works. So we started working as music coordinators. Still we are doing it. And that kind of gave us some headways into Netflix and Amazon, music side of things, where we managed to play some good songs for all the independent talent. Then we figured what are the gaps for all the independent talent, so we became a label also.
What are the gaps for independent? Let's get into that. As an independent talent.
I mean, we also figured that out like on a step-by-step basis, where we realized, so outside of management, what are the things that they lack? So the one thing was like a career trajectory which actually aligns with what they want to do was one thing. Then we realized that publishing is a very important thing for them, where they need to look at like revenue sources outside of just live.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So we've started also like realizing that they eventually also have like a better time and they're more productive when they're in studio in comparison to when you let them be on the road. And that was the focus shift that we had when the pandemic hit, because we were like, okay, so now no live shows, but so how do we shift the focus? So luckily for us, like Tejas is, you know, like privy to podcasting and, you know, making parodies and stuff like that, so he was focusing on that. Sanjita and Arifa got into acting and stuff like that. So outside of music they started tapping into talents that they didn't necessarily focus on when you know, it was just live and it was just touring, and it was like the only hustle before 2020 was which venue can I get today. You know,
ये बेचारा म्यूजिशियन लोग पे मेरे को बहुत तरस आता है. बेचारा जाते और 6 घंटे पहले साउंड चेक करते, बोलते दादा मॉनिटर नहीं आ रहा है, दादा मॉनिटर, फिर बेचारे पहुंचते, शॉक लग जाता है गिटार और माइक से. दोनों कितना गंदा लाइफ बेचारे बच्चे लोग का.
This time sorry, go for it.
Especially for live, as in the amount of work that goes behind it to put up a live show.
I always acknowledge it because I'm like, dude, हम आ गए अपना गला लेके,
I swear,
माइक पकड़ के जोक सुनाने. They have to like go, and like my friend Mahesh, he used to be like a drummer, right? So I would see him going everywhere with like an entire car and like having to load like his drum kit into everything, then unload it everywhere. And you know, and I'm like, I see you at the gig, man. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, finally you realize that as a drummer, especially, you get to a point where you're like, okay, अब तो kit तो होगा, पर अब मैं 17 symbol के साथ travel करता हूँ for some reason. So that becomes no, but and you know, people keep asking me after the album like, कि oh, you don't want to tour this album. I'm like, तू पागल है? मैं क्यों करेगा tour?
Oh, that's a great album.
Yeah, it's a sick album though.
But why would I tour this? It's so, listen, I hate life. Okay, I hate it. The comedy I do because it's the one time on stage where it's bearable. Okay, like I sing songs because I hate life. अभी तुम जाके सबके सामने नहीं, it's too much. I can't do this. I have to take care of your voice every day. You can't you can't do the same things you do when you are doing. No, you can't. I have seen my friends. They do the brrrr and all. They do exercises and all. Oh, I remember Local Train wala, that guy. He wanted to do not the Local Train, the band Local Train.
I know.
Great props to Local Train. I don't know anyone who makes engineering student boys cry this much as Local Train.
Pratik Kumar. Like him and Obama.
Well, like, so the gig is going on, and I'm on stage and they're after me. And this is one thing I don't get about musicians. Okay, every time there's a musician with me in a college fest, I'm like, I'll go first. Let me get it like insane high level energy. Like, let me kill with a big joke. Let me build them up and be like, let's fucking go. And then the band comes on and it's wow, right? And they never come on time. They never come. I'm like building it. Give it up for Local Train is not going to come. I know it's
first the basis will come out.
The drama will come out.
And then they're like totally not किसी अरे मेरा monitor पीछे रह गया, कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा है सबका. Second thing, they were doing vocal rehearsals backstage. I can hear it on stage.
Yeah.
मैं अगर गैप ले रहा है ना बात करने में तो पीछे से ऐसा करके आ रहा है. It was so stressful as a
surround sound system.
Very stressful as a gig. But yeah, I don't know why.
Dude, this time, like, I was in Bangalore and one of my opening acts was a guy called Dave. He's a queer musician. Okay. And I vowed to, like, not give straight boys opening acts for my shows by default. Because, like, it's either women, either comics with disabilities or queer comics. They generally like to give all comics stage time, right? So, like, I chose to give musician. This guy's turned out at 5:30 to my venue, okay? 7 o'clock ka show hai, and he's there, and nobody else is there, okay? He's just in a turtleneck and a jacket, poor guy, sweating, he's hot, he's got to call a date also to the show, and I roll up at 6:40, I'm like, yeah, set up nahi hua, he's like, nahi, nobody's here. I'm like, hey Harman, like Harman is our producer and comic from
at
Yuck Collective.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So just to give you some context, it's above like a restaurant and it's just a room above a restaurant. So it's nothing. There's nothing in that room. There's a amp and a mic and
a stage.
And a
small
stage.
Setup,
and you set up the chairs yourself.
And the waiters will go by while the show is on. But if you're good enough, they don't care. It's just like the opening of the doors is constant. They go and do that. So this guy, the musician, is panicking because like
and nobody, the staff speaks only to you.
Like
forget giving you yes or no replies. If you'll be like, is this a venue? They will just stare at you and walk away from you slowly.
And it's a vegan place to begin with, so like I don't belong there to begin with. And so now we're upstairs and this guy is just like panicking, like what to do, I don't have. I'm like, why do you need anything right now? We'll have a mic set up and everything, just sit down and do your thing, okay? But our producer turns up like 5 minutes before the show, as usual. And at this point, like in Bangalore, my phone has stopped working because it just conked off. Okay, so my phone gave up on me a night before. So I'm using a friend's spare phone for which I need a charger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Harman, like let's set up over here. I'll start my show. And then let this guy go on. We record his bit and everything, and then I go on, and I'll be on for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, just buy a charging cord for me because I need to charge the iPhone. I have to go to Hyderabad immediately overnight bus karke. So he's like, cool. And in the middle of the show now, my show is going well and everything. I hear Harman sliding the door for the balcony, okay? And everybody just looks at him. I'm like, that's our comic opening act. He doesn't know how doors work. He's a Sardar. I just do this. I just do this joke to move on from the fact that this is happening. And then I know that he's kept the charger over. I'm like, thank God for this guy, okay? And when I finish the show, he's not there. Harman is fucked off. He's like, some emergency happened. I'm gone. The charger is on the chair near your bag, okay? I'm like, cool, I don't even check. I put the charger in my bag, take my backpack, go out, have Empire ka roll, and fuck off to the bus stop, okay? Get in the bus. I'm like, okay, let's charge my phone now. This guy has gotten a different charger and a different cord.
Wow.
Both Apple products, but both with different, like, इसमें USB है और इसमें C type है. मुझे घुसने वाला तो है नहीं. So I'm now going to a different state with like 40% battery. And I have to call my Airbnb guy the moment I reach Hyderabad. So I'm like, okay,
so
now
can't use your phone on the trip.
Can't use my phone on the flight mode, okay. And my dumbass had also booked a non-AC bus. I don't know what happened.
Great.
In my like haste of booking the bus, I booked a non-AC bus, okay, where there's a curtain. But it's not serving its purpose because from both sides the wind is coming, so curtains is hitting my face and like, and everybody can see what I'm doing. And because I'm also changing clothes in the bus after the show, right? So I'm in my So I just felt like that entire evening was just like a nightmare, okay?
So that's one thing comedy teaches us, huh? We can change anywhere.
Yeah,
I've changed in toilets where the shit has not been flushed in 6 months. Any place in the world I've changed.
Yeah,
dude. Like
in the back of a Uber going from Baroda to Ahmedabad.
In Hiranandani Mall in Powai, every time I do square, I change in a.
That mall and that toilet. Oh Jesus
God.
Christ! Oh,
The toilet is so bad. When you walk up the first floor, you can smell. ऐसा लोग lift लेते ताकि वो बास ना है. For the first floor, it's that bad.
It's a residency program of a toilet. It's there. No one changes it. No one bothers with it. It's just like the most haunted. Like the alleyway is just very long, okay, to get inside first of all. And like there's multiple stalls. None of them are functioning. Okay, all of them have become at some point like a nest of just like poop. Okay, it's just like it's packed.
Sometimes you will see little like things moving in the poop. Like you know what I mean? Like there is
creatures have taken home.
Oh God.
Yeah. And it's like and the wash basin is just like a community wash basin, okay? Like one tap will work in the beginning of it, then everybody washes their hands in the water that flows from that. It's just like, it's disgusting.
And it's like the same with the urinal, right? Because it's like your pee will go to the drain when somebody up the slope pees and their pee pushes your pee down.
Yeah, so you get like a amalgamation of orange, yellow, green.
Yeah, it's like nice. I think that's a great point to take a very quick break.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. I hope you guys are checking out Has It Aged Well on the IVM Pop feed, what used to be IVM Likes. I know it's complicated, but it's well worth your time. This week, Abbas and Urchita revisit Sanjay Bhansali's 2002 offering Devdas. Joining them for this conversation is die-hard SRK fan Pulkit Kochar. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav discovers the connection between the iconic rock band Led Zeppelin, the children's classic Chronicles of Narnia, and Harry Potter. On This Round Is On Me, Gauri talks to chef Thomas Zacharias, founder of the Locavore. He shares his views about greenwashing, plant-based meats, and the concept of sustainability. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita discuss Tesla's new Optimus robot, Trevor Noah quitting The Daily Show, and a whole lot more. And on Varta Lab's storytelling session, Aakash and Navin's conversation takes a political turn as they are joined by friend and fellow stand-up comic Puneet Pania. Guys, go to our website, ivmpodcast.com. You can check out the merch store, also links to all of our social media stuff, which is at IVM Podcast. Also, do check out our YouTube channels. We have a number of channels with many of your favorite shows available as full video podcasts. Finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Volvo XC40 Recharge, Bumble, Heads Up for Tails, and HDFC Mutual Fund. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Where are you all from? Wait. Are we rolling? What are we doing? We're rolling now. Cool. Where are you all? Sorry. Okay.
Welcome back to Varta Lab, guys. Akash, no manners you have.
Sorry. Welcome back. I mean, I got distracted by our producer, who I'm annoyed at.
Who's promised samosas to us from 3 o'clock. We have been here right now. It's 4:45, by the way. Yeah. And nary a samosa has reached our mouths. I just want to put it out there.
Where are you all from? Are you from? Did you grow up in Mumbai? Did you grow up outside of Mumbai?
Bombay. Born and brought up in Bombay.
Was it? Oh, around the same time we must have all grown up, no? At least you're what? 30s?
I'm 86 born.
86 born.
Yeah.
You're my brother's age. How old are you?
94.
What a cute.
Thanks, yeah.
You're 1 year younger than me, so that works. Okay.
Like originally from Borivali, she's from Kolaba, and now we live in Bandra.
Yeah, we found middle ground.
We found love in a hopeless place.
That's car.
That's car.
Bandra is still hopeful.
No, I think
my
you're
house.
talking about Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz में कौन रहता है? वहाँ कोई नहीं रहता यार. वहाँ पे बस एक
No, Santa Cruz is a dopeless place, not hopeless. But yeah, dude, like it's been scary nowadays. Like a lot of cops on the streets. Just be careful, is what I'm saying. They're fully.
Yeah,
Let it rain over me has happened.
Don't do anything illegal, boys and girls. And if you do it well.
Yeah. I was watching the Serpent movie actually, the series.
The one about
Charles
Sobraj.
Yeah.
उसके bathroom में से पूरा panel था where he would keep all the drugs we used to use on tourists and all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they never found it. Like the Bangkok police, the people who were the considerate people had to go and check their house, and then before the new tenants came in, that's when they found the drugs.
Yeah.
It's really cool because I was studying in Goa, doing my graduation there, where I was to live in Porvorim, and there is a restaurant called Kokero, where they caught Charles Sobraj while reading a book. So they have a statue of him with handcuffs.
Oh wow.
Sitting there.
Statue.
Yeah, as in
Like not even a photo. They are like.
They have made a
table.
statue of him on a table with handcuffs reading a book.
The thing is with Charles Sobraj, people are mesmerized with him. Like to this day, like the fact that he returned to Nepal at the end, like he was done serving his sentence.
Yeah.
He just came to like see if he still got that notoriety, people still want attention based on his name. And just like an idiot got arrested. Dumbass.
But then he died in jail or what?
Not
Or he
sure.
died outside of jail?
He had a heart attack in jail, I think.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
he died in jail too, yeah.
What swag though? Mad swag.
Yeah.
Mad swag. I think anybody in history who has swag, people are like, हाँ ये इसके पीछे अपन कुछ तो लगा सकते हैं. Like, you know what I mean?
I get it because like for the longest time Ted Bundy tapes, right? Like that documentary is also like, and so many girls, like my female friends are like, fuck, he's so hot. Like, you know,
I know.
You get it. You know, I'm like, yeah, I get
You
it.
also think Ted Bundy is
No,
very
I
hot?
don't think so. I do have though a lot of friends and peers who are like, oh my god, Ten Bundy's
Yeah.
so hot. I'm like, bitch, he's psycho.
Yeah,
He'll fucking cut you in half.
Interesting that you bring this up because even when the whole 26/11 happened, there were girls in my batch who were like, Kasab is damn cute.
Yeah.
You know
So
what
I was
mean?
watching the John Wayne Gacy, the new thing that came out.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Who's John Wayne Gacy?
John Wayne Gacy is a clown who used to be a killer also.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
but
Like-
he was only killing like young boys
Young
and
gay
young
boys,
men.
like he would lure them, and he was such a closeted homosexual that he would manifest his homophobia as a reason to kill people, right?
Yeah.
So he was a Democrat National Party ka like full member. He was with the cops, like he would help the cops out as a citizen, whatever, employee, whatever, and like he was fully in cahoots with the people who were going to save him eventually, like in a way. So like nothing, no one's going to touch me if whatever, you're a young boys. So all these boys were like again runaways from their house looking for jobs. So he would give them construction jobs, and then next thing you know, he would like molest them, like drug them, tie them up, and then like when they start digging bodies under his house, they find like they're parallelly buried, dude. They're like एक के ऊपर एक 33 bodies came out from under his basement.
Yeah.
And all the while I'm like, that's horrible.
I mean, it's boys, it's less space also.
yeah,
but
young boys also, no, like
Yeah.
So then and I'm like horrible
I'm an
shit.
efficiency fan, guys.
I mean the fact that he didn't get caught for the longest time
Yeah.
was just like crawl space के अंदर जाके like Walter White की तरह
Yeah.
he was burying money, he was burying humans, dude.
Ah.
And all this
Don't
while,
tell me Walter White. I have just started watching it.
you haven't seen Breaking Bad?
I saw 2 seasons and I got tired when I was a kid. I didn't have the patience.
Okay.
Now I have Netflix with 1.25x.
Nice. So we can watch it starting also.
You do that? You do that. Everybody does that. I used to.
No man.
I-
Not
1.25
Netflix.
I just go 10 seconds aage if I find
Yeah.
something. Like if it's like straight sex scene, not watching this.
Breaking Bad is the only show where I watch it on 1.25x and it's more bearable.
Doesn't
Like,
it
I'm
sound
just-
weird?
All the Skylar scenes, I get it.
Yeah,
She's
dude.
very annoying.
She's damn
Like, I'm gonna be
annoying,
preachy
man.
today. but then at the end of the documentary, my point is that when John Wayne Gacy, like in a prime of his jail time era,
Yeah.
it was very cute. Like I like these uncle type daddies. And I was like, cute to her, So I get it, but also I don't
It's like
get
a
it.
forbidden thing, no?
Yeah.
Now it's in that forbidden fruit space, is it?
Yeah, like even with like for example Ted Bundy, like one of his longest fans would stick by him, like even despite the fact that like everybody has like there are girls. One side the witness girls who are like, yeah, I've seen him, at the beach or at this hostel or whatever, killing people. There are girls who are swooning over him, and then there's one girl who's holding his hand from behind, okay, and she's in love with him,
Yeah.
and then they marry in jail also.
Yeah, he got married.
Yeah. So like, if that's possible, I don't think like,
Anyone can find love.
Apparently.
yeah.
Oh, girl. Oh. Who's your favorite artist to manage? Don't lie.
Tejas.
Yeah? Why Tejas over
I just said Tejas.
Yeah, I don't have any favorite artist.
Liar.
Obviously. So I can do a sales page if you want, where our roster is so diversified that the intention was that you have singer-songwriters and then you have producers.
Yeah.
Even when you have singer-songwriters, there are Hindi and Sanjita who's multilingual. Then there is Arifa and there is Tejas. So all of them come from a very different mindset altogether when they write songs. Then there are producers where again there's Sid Kuto, who's also a songwriter, but he's focusing more on producing right now. Then there's Aditya Ashok, who comes from a different space. Then there's Bradley Tellis, who's completely different space. And then there's Hash Pace. We recently started working with him, who's also in a different space. So I enjoy with all of them for their own sweet reason, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
So
Hash Pace and I have a blast. Like when I met him, I think at Veranda that night.
Yeah, Clifford Ranch, right? Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Whatever it was whatever. But अरे मैं तो आया था मेरे दोस्त को प्ले करते हुए देखने के लिए, उसको बजाने कोई नहीं मिला, एंड में बजाया उसने डायरेक्ट. Guess who played last?
There was supposed to be a DJ last, but then the PA went out, I remember.
yeah, Clifford and Ranj, I remember.
Yeah, they blew out the PA though.
Anyway, long story short, Harshit looks at me and he's like, bhai, and we had spoken one song, Clubhouse, we know each other through Shashwat. So I said, Arey,
Harshit is Hash Pace.
Hash Pace, yeah. I can't call him Hash Pace. This is very difficult. Sorry, bro, but it's very like, you're a grown man. I can't call you Hash Pace.
But also, it's a reason, like, we use the bass for most of the hash. I don't know how it's difficult.
So, and he's like, अरे भाई मैं मुंबई आ गया, and I'm like, अरे मत आ इस माया नगरी में, चले जा इधर से, इधर जो भी आता है इधर सकिन हो जाता है ये वो. And he's like, but bro मुझे एक हफ्ता ही वहाँ से, हाँ तो रुक. I was like, give it 6 months.
He's really enjoying it here because of the chaos. He finds somehow peace here because he's a early morning person also. So alag space.
But I want to ask quickly, like the whole Bangalore music scene has changed.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. But also in terms of like now, like venues having like certain embargoes, like यहाँ पे society है, यहाँ पे वो है, इंदिरा नगर में, कोरमंगला में, they're being big.
पुराने venue बंद हुए ना, नए तो चल नहीं रहे, गिलीज तो चल.
Yeah, so I want to ask you all, like, do you all think that this whole people chipping in for their 2 cents on like how music venue should run because they live nearby, is that a factor that you all are worried about in the long run?
As in terms of residential
that affecting like the gigs
like
in the
is there rather, I think what he's trying to get at is has it been more annoying or less annoying with people living around venues trying to shut it down?
But honestly speaking, we are in the independent space. It's always been annoying for some reason or the other, and you've been finding solutions for it.
Yeah.
As in residential will always kind of complain because they don't get it. They won't get it what we do.
Yeah.
Never.
I don't always blame the residents either. Like, you buy a house in a place and then, like you're 80, cut to.
No, but even though they'll start getting it, your cultural space will keep evolving, right?
Yeah.
So you'll always keep going edgy and edgy for in their head.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Problem is old people.
Yeah,
but the guys who are young right now will get old, and that time they will start shitting on the things which are happening there.
Yeah.
Then,
I already felt like that sometimes. I don't know if you feel like, okay, tell me this, because you're my brother's age, right? Like, you must be at a point in life where you now listen to music and you're like, I don't get it.
As in, yeah, but like, it's all subjective.
Yeah, of course it's all subjective.
As a manager, you can't be like, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so, like I was hanging out with Shashwat, he was playing some music by some band, and I was like, man, they're talking about things I don't know. You know
well, honestly speaking, there are many DJs who are doing all these college circuits and stuff like that, and I don't get their music.
Yeah.
At all, but they are getting the most shows. So that's how it is, I guess.
I think but generally getting older and not wiser this time it's just like a curse, I feel, because as a younger boy I would consume films from all around the world. Like I would like give me Afghani films, give me Iranian films, give me Puerto Rican films, and I'd be like, I'll read subtitles, I'll do whatever, I'll understand. But now I just cannot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to sleep so fast.
But I think that's a comfort thing also, right?
Yeah.
Like as you get older, you tend to put yourself in a comfort space that this is the only thing that brings me comfort, so I think I'll stick with this.
Yeah, essentially.
It's like there's like a weird sense of fear that you're not sure if you even want to spend the time to try something new.
Like my partner and I have a whole deal is like we do our entire day's work. I do gigs, he does his work and everything, and then eventually at around 10:30, 11 when the day's work is done, showers done and everything, we sit down, watch a horror movie. We by default like to consume horror or thrillers, and like so far we have like Hotstar, Netflix, Prime, even fucking Epic or whatever other channels, Movie, all of them have consumed the horror stuff, okay? And now the regional stuff starts, where like it's all like different language and everything.
Yeah.
So now we're like bookmarking shit, but he's like, do you want to watch it? I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But he knows that he'll start it, and within half an hour, I'll be fucking gone.
Yeah.
And then he has to finish the movie alone.
Yeah.
And he's not up for it because it's a horror movie eventually.
Yeah, obviously.
And then he's just like shaking me in the middle of the night. Can you please get up?
Yeah.
This is very scary, please. It's fun.
I all in a relationship?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
getting married this
We're
year.
getting married at the end of the year.
Hey, congratulations. Hey.
We have more things common between us than we know.
Yeah.
I'm not getting married.
But I got engaged this year. I'm getting married as well.
Nice.
So it's like a whole. Well, chalo.
No rights for me. But you guys go on. I have my blessings.
Yeah.
You guys.
We have your blessings, you mean?
Both ways. I hope you'll have your blessings also on me, so I eventually can marry.
Oh,
But
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
already.
come on.
You already have our blessings.
No,
If I
because-
could, I would marry you today.
in Bangalore, my friends were like, dude, is there no provision for you to marry? I'm like, there are fans who sometimes get very like attached to
Yeah.
us, right? And they're like, there's no way. I'm like, no, legality wise, like, there's no like spousal benefits, no bank account. He can't visit me in the hospital, whatever. And they're like, karte na, we'll go to Nepal. Or even Pavitra, like, let's go to Nepal. We'll do a ceremony because Nepal it's legal.
Legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for the when the trekkers would come to go to Everest, they were like, that's a great fucking money making business. Little gay couples will come, base camp पे शादी करेंगे, चढ़ेंगे नीचे आ जाएंगे.
Okay.
Mountain पे, not.
ये तो
हाँ.
सही idea है.
हाँ. So that was the plan. कि we'll go to Nepal and get married. But again, India में it is nullified. It's fucking stupid.
Oh,
But
yeah, it is.
yeah, but then we can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I would say still get married, motherfucking go to the mountains and make a vacation out of it. You know,
Yeah.
go paragliding
get a
and
baby
all.
back like Bruno. This is
As
my,
in, we know someone who made their own rituals, so obviously you can do that also, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ये कोई इंडिपेंडेंट म्यूजिक वाला लग रहा है
Yeah.
है ना यही करते हैं ये लोग के पास टाइम होता है ना काम नहीं होता उनके पास you know I always used to envy the music scene because I felt like the music scene was like this unachievable thing for me growing up, you know. Then I got into comedy. I'm like, you know, क्या dumb लोग हैं because somehow music is allowed to be free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're okay with the idea that there's a band performing there and I haven't paid to see them and they're just background to me. Like I don't know how you get over that as a person in the music business. Like your whole the product that you're trying to. I mean, obviously the product for you is the brand and the person, but whatever they're making in terms of songs is for 95% just background.
Yeah, as
Right?
in it depends where you're taking these shows for. So we obviously carefully take
Yeah.
those where it depends if it's a pop cover set
Yeah.
or your original music.
Yeah.
If it's a floating audience like you're saying, I don't think we'll ever perform original music there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we prepare our sets to that.
Yeah, but we also have the thing of we have like certain mandates for artists who specifically require, like if most of the artists don't necessarily do covers, right?
Yeah.
So for those kind of artists, we have mandates in place that we don't want it to be a floating crowd. It needs to be a focused crowd, you know, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's also in a way that we tend to find that minimalistic, just creating those guidelines really helps for people to understand the ethos also, that you're coming here to
Yeah.
consume this. You're not coming to just
Exactly.
listen to it and move.
It does mean lesser shows and lesser stuff.
Of course it
Yeah,
does.
it
Of
does.
course.
But
You can't go to Chandrapur. You can't perform that. I have
in Delhi only, like in house cast, I was doing like a 2-day show, right? Second day ka show ho gaya, some of my friends that come to the show, they're like, let's hang out. And house cast is like fully like people are just like constantly pimping their place, like, you know, yahan pe aajo. Then one guy convinced my friends ki, like, this is a nice live music and all. We're like, cool live music. And then like, we have two stories. One is like a techno DJ sound. So if you don't like the live music, go there and you can chill there also. We're like, cool. And I'm just like, I've just like performed for so long. I'm just like blank, okay. And I just go with them wherever they are going types. And they give us seat, like, because like there's 11 of us, they give us seat right next to the musicians, okay, who are just like, there's a guitarist and there's like those, whatever the table that you sit on, what do you call it?
Cajon.
I had no idea what to call.
Kahona pyar hai.
Haan, cajon.
Cajon.
Okay, cool. And they're playing it, dude. And then we realized that we just wanted to like unwind at this point because we had sat for a performance, which was mine. And now one more performance is taking a toll on us.
Yeah.
So it was, and I, as an artist, I would not feel like doing this to them because they are also like emo people, music and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go out one by one. Okay, let's not all of them bounce because it'll look very
Was
awkward.
nobody else there?
There were like 2 more tables.
Oh, no.
And like again, there were boys and girls just interested in each other.
Yeah.
No one was giving them bow. So then we just like one by one, like one of us like, and then and the waiter like, क्या हो गया sir? क्या हो गया sir? अरे sir क्यों जा रहे हो sir?
एक करके वो भी.
Yeah, and they're
It's
screaming
so
over the
odd.
musicians. Okay, they're like, yeah, रुक जाओ यार, यार, and all of that. And then we had to go to like a rooftop place. But I felt throughout the whole thing that we did not do them justice at some point. But also, fuck this dude, it's too loud and enough face. So it's like you get it, but also where do you quantify this? I kind of feel like musicians do get a bad rap essentially because of the fact that we can take our phone out and do whatever we want because उनको थोड़ी like lyrics का कुछ फर्क पड़ रहा है. But here we are like comics where like phone अंदर रख लोड़े and it's like मारूंगा देखो and all that. We are very like that.
But I think that's why musicians envy comics right now.
Yeah, for sure. Because we can acknowledge कि you're being an asshole, no? Like just stop being an asshole right now. It's the you guys have toured with artists, I'm sure. You must have worked on a couple of NH7s as well.
Yeah.
Right, and
as in one NH7 I officially worked, and that's about it. When I was working at OML, I was touring and tour managing Steve Vai. That
nice! What a fucking legend, dude.
Yeah, dude. Was it fun hanging out with Steve Vai? Did you get to hang out with
Steve Vai?
Yeah.
He was not willing to pee a whole road, so I got down. I started peeing on the farm. Then he asked me, "Is it good there?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he came, peed next to me. So that was the bonding we had.
Nice, dude.
Because I've been telling him it will take a while for us to get there.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a petrol pump. Again, he was like, no, scary and stuff like that. Then while we were reaching the venue, just half an hour before, I was like, see, there is a traffic there. I'm getting down to pee. Come, you can come.
Yeah.
In the farm early, like in the evening.
How has I mean, do you guys still I mean, did you ever harbor ambitions that you want to do like a music festival in India? Do you guys still feel like that's something? I don't know, like I feel like
I had those ambitions and we did it.
Right.
That's what happened with me actually, honestly speaking. Like honestly, initially it was like I want to do live shows. I did it. Then it was about I wanted to curate the whole festival lineup end to end and all that. That also happened. And then I'm like, ab kya?
It's like that Seven Ring song.
Yeah.
You know, my lips are flossing. You know? You like my hair. Whatever. When Ariana's like, I like this, I got it. And so.
Oh, it's that song.
Yeah.
I know that song.
Yeah. I like it. I want it.
Even at OML, that's what happened actually. Like
you liked it and you got it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the curation team and like basically program artist and because I was doing that when I was like in Orange Juice.
Right.
Importing talent, you can call it or whatever, right? As in booking them and like sorting stuff here. And then I wanted to do that at the festival, but then the team was full or whatever. And then they were like, no, you fit in comedy, you should be in comedy and stuff. And I was like, I don't like, never.
Yeah.
And I had done comedy. I had done Gabriel Iglesias tour where I had booked it.
Nice.
I had gone. I was one of the people who brought a cake.
He's still putting out videos from that gig, dude.
Yeah. He made a whole
the Fanta one,
Yeah.
And Tanmay was opening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we used to do this thing called the Comic Nomads.
Which
was the concept where the first time comics will go on a tour outside Bombay.
Yeah.
We touched Bangalore and Pune. Okay. And then Aman Agarwal, being Aman Agarwal.
Oh, the legendary Aman Agarwal.
So shit went down. And then we as producers, we had to stop it because we were already down with certain investments, right? And then we got to know he's not paying the artist also, and all that started happening.
For listeners who don't know who Aman Agarwal is, quick context: he's the guy who was responsible for the downfall of Canvas Laugh Club
and for the creation
and
of
Canvas and like the eventual downfall. And he
if you ever saw those old videos that that guy made somebody else bankroll. That venue.
But the good part is that I met Tom there. He was brilliant.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
Tom Kos. Wow, wherever you are, I miss you.
He's in Dubai.
He's doing sound there. No, he's doing proper.
He's working for some huge event companies doing like large techs and stuff.
And that's the thing, like I was so mesmerized by comedy before I got into it. Like I would work at Book My Show, right? So I would like be listing these events for like Blue Frog or like Canvas and all. And then like I think Rahul Lalchandani, who used to intern at Canvas, had started like the Green Room Butler series, where they would offer a back access like what's in the green room. So you would see Anwar Pal, you would see Tanmay, you would see Kamba, you see all the people like just in their natural element, like being comics. And I'm like, I want to be a part of this fucking whatever. I regret that sooner. But the whole point of it was like Canvas was like that little hub you wanted to be a part of, and that's the thing, right? Like when years later I performed over there and then I was not getting paid for my gigs, I just felt like, what is this dream, dude? Like, why did I achieve this and also did not achieve anything at this point, And my mom is like, you go perform 5 days at Lower Parel, because I used to live in Bhayandar. You guys realize like how far that is. Lower Parel to Bhayandar.
I travel from Borivali.
Exactly. It's not a joke, dude. It's not a fucking joke. And then my mom is like, you come tired, you do daytime work, you go and do this, and then you come home and then they're still not paying you. What is the reason? And that's the reason that I lost my shit, okay? Because my father sat in front of me and was like, what's your plan? I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to tweet this. So I started like a series of tweets. I'm like, for the past 2 years, Canvas Love Club has not paid me and multiple comics, and that created like an avalanche effect, because like now publications were calling me saying, Ki, is this true? And I'm like, yeah, it's true. The biggest club in the country is not paying comics. Then Dudeja, Aakash, they all chipped in. And I think in a way that kind of led to the fucking fact that this guy was exposed in the long run, because a lot of comics had gone through this.
We also kept going because of Tom. Because he was very passionate in setting it up, and he kept pushing it. He was curating. जैसे ही वो बोला कि look, he is also getting fucked over. Then we were like, थोड़ा
I think it's like this industry, every industry, right? Whether it's music or this or that or whatever, it's full of these stories, right? Like of these promoters who just suffer, like who themselves fuck it up for themselves, who will keep coming back again and again. They'll never quite go away, never quite make it. Sudeep is one of those resilient guys. Where the it's never popped for Sudeep. But I know ki, like, give it a few years, I'll see Sudeep opening another venue in Mumbai again.
And a killer venue also. Like both Hive and Cuckoo Club by default have notoriety for being like, again,
great venues.
A secondary nucleus, for example, because if people couldn't do Canvas, they were at Hive always by default, right? And only problem, of course, being like managing these venues is a lot of money. And it takes a toll. And Sudeep, poor guy, dude. Like, I got to go 2020 January. I got to go to Kochi venue because you opened Hive and Cuckoo Club there also. Great venues again, and Kochi needs like culture because like a lot of comedy doesn't happen there, and it's a tropical paradise. It's beautiful. It's great. I had a great time, and then in March again, he had to shut the venue down. Newly open venue, man, and people don't understand the overhead you have to go through just to get sure that you can fund a venue, let alone like then making sales on the tickets afterwards. So obviously, like my heart. Because I've worked with Sudeep, both Aakash and I have worked as producers with Sudeep also, so we know exactly how difficult it is to get that together, you know.
Do you think it helps to have artists that have worked on the other end of the thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been working on some things here and there now, where I interact with other people who are quote unquote creators or actors or whatever, influencers, and they've never worked behind the camera. Like they have no idea what it's like to be the guy in production waiting for them to come out of the fucking van on time. You know what I mean?
That's what. And I feel that's a drawback.
Yeah, right? Like I feel like it's a
huge... It limits your like skills.
Yeah. Do you like, I mean, is this something with musicians as well? Do you feel like musicians need to be, I mean, okay, there's one end is obviously the opposite end, which is, you know, be in the control room as opposed to in the studio. But like other shit also, definitely you must see it impact them, right?
Yeah, and there are very few who are managing to do that, like switch off and be neutral. You know, otherwise, see, for example, when it comes to licensing music, right? If you put a musician as a supervisor, the first thing comes in their head is to sell their own music, but that's not that shouldn't be the case. So again, like Ankur does that very beautifully, where he's like a supervisor, he switches off and is neutral and goes for the sound.
Color Capital Records, he was doing that only, where like other musicians come on board, and here I'm helping you guys and not myself, you know.
Right.
So it's
you won't find his own sound, or you know what I mean. Like he's open to understanding what the vision is.
Like that's how I feel with Lasoon also. Like I mean, in terms of managing all the comics that we manage, I'm just there to kind of be like, hey, tu kar.
Yeah.
That's the most you can do also, right? As a manager, like you can't really make somebody do something. That's the one thing I realized. Like when we initially signed people, some of the people that we don't have on the roster anymore, it was always like, oh, we'll motivate this person. You can't motivate somebody into becoming a thing. Like the most you can do is like pick them up on the day that they're down and be like, no, we have to keep at this.
But you should put them in the same room as like someone you know might enable something from there.
That's true. And I think that's a very important lesson in humility also, as you said, like, you know, on sets and everything. Like, I'm immediately bonding with, like, the spot dada, the crew behind, the makeup people, they love me because I'm just like, these are my guys, and they're way less
the most interesting crew also.
Exactly. and they'll always, like, no, if they have, like, sir, aapke liye extra doubly rakh rahe hum, they always, like, do a favor for you. They're like, we're extra sweet for you, you do your thing, we'll be there for you. And anything, like, dude, there's people who have come and, like, put stuff in my hand, which, you know.
Similarly, like,
are you vegan?
All natural.
Whenever I go to Dubai, I can never hang out with the locals. I can either hang out with the recent immigrants or the staff. Right? The people who grew up in Dubai, I cannot understand them. They are all shoshad. Like it's Delhi ka 100% ka shoshad.
Naya paisa.
जो भी कैसा भी पैसा है वो धूल वाला पैसा है वो सब मिट्टी लगे.
But that's how it is. Even comedy shows in Dubai, as in they'll just
they're the worst.
They'll be like मेरा birthday आज birthday का गाना का types, you know.
birthday wish तो बनता ही है. And then if you say na, I'll say happy birthday and then I'll be like, by the way, मौत आ रही है, like, you know, as a joke, and then they'll get upset like, why you reminded me of death on my birthday and all. You know, my grandfather once died and all. And I'm like, "Arey, but it's bound to happen. Dude."
And then again when you will be like table book kiya hua, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's it like working together when it's a couple? Like, do you have? I feel like you're people who very rarely have personal fights with each other.
No, so I mean, we've got like a very not drastic, but like a very, like we just make it a point that from 11 in the morning to 7 p.m. in the evening, we're colleagues. Obviously, in case we need one another in a personal capacity, we are. No, नहीं मतलब
काम का focus रहता है तो
जब भी
हाथ टच होता है बस उतना ही है.
It's all casual. It's all casual, but then that focus is there, which comes from her also. Like, you know, so it's
like it has to be focused. We try to keep conversations purely professional. And then obviously at the end of the night, when we're done with work, we'll both sit down together, catch up on how our day was.
On some vegan stuff.
On some vegan stuff.
So here's my question. Now,
apples and oranges.
do you guys have names for each other, like cute names for each other that you call each other?
I have this habit of calling everyone by full name, and nobody calls her by full name.
Yeah, nobody calls me by my full name.
That's my mom's thing also. She's like my father. She'll be like, William Narona, come here and take your food. Father's like, oh, shit.
No, so I mean, he calls me Nayantara, but like people shorten my name because Soni, Tara, Nayan, NT. Like sometimes it's just no. So I'm not used to it. Like I'm just like then my anxiety will kick in, and I'm like, are you upset with me? You call me my full name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're used to your parents using your full name. Like otherwise, it's
man.
So she calls me Savi, but like no one can take my name properly. They don't
People
remember.
call him Sanvijay.
Oh man, I'm still called Akshay yaar, तो चलता है. But I would have called you Bubs only.
Like Savio.
मैं तो अगर इतना लंबा नाम है तो मैं Bubs बोल देगा सबको. But like so, you know, because my thing is if I'm working with my fiance on some things professionally as well. But my problem is I call her Chiku and all, dude. Like I call her Babu and all, and then I'll be professional now. I'll be like, but I think Babu this. And I'm like, अरे क्या कर रहे हैं?
But that you can do that. I mean, if you're like one-on-one in a room, right? But if you're sitting in on a meeting or you're talking with people who are outside, nahin.
But the time my partner will do, Abhi will be like, babe, and I'm like, I'm not a pig.
मैं इधर babe नहीं.
Like सब जगह babe, like but like you know, because I use Abhi only for him everywhere as a cute form also, because and then Abhishek is when again as I'm mad at him, and then like oh full name came out, but we're writing like a movie now together, like and I'm writing for him and he's directing it. That's the idea, right? And like he has 2 cents always because like. And at home when I'm writing, he'll be like hovering behind me, like, oh, this you're writing, oh, this is how you're writing this scene, what? And I'm like, can you not do this because this will like there'll be blood, okay?
Come to my house and write.
Yeah. I'm like, if this is the line we're drawing, then no, the movie's not happening.
Yeah.
So it's just that we are learning also on the same time. But like I think for me, there's no bigger feedback. Like a great feedback receptor, so to say, because like, he's always there, and I'm always bouncing jokes off him.
Yes.
Like just today I did a joke. I won't do this on the podcast. I'll tell you afterwards. It's a very funny joke. But he was like he's heard the joke because like so much of like being around a comedian is like laughing for everything. So at one point it become blank.
You stop laughing at things.
So even if I've said the funniest joke, like the Princess Diana thing that became like, like you know, like I think Salman Khan is the inverse of Princess Diana because she did charity before she died, and then you know
she did charity before the car crash.
Yeah. So he was the first bouncing board for that joke, right? He's like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, do you know how well this works on stage? So that's become like a more of like you know even if we are impressed, like you know he started an entire Kickstarter program today, right?
Yeah,
for his movie, and I'm like, this is amazing because he's doing so much, and while he expects me to be like, wow, you know, it's like amazing. I'm like, congratulations, you know, you're doing great.
Yeah. Now next step,
you know, because we can't be like, tune tir maar liya. You have to be like, let's do better than this all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like sometimes, no, I read these old stories, you know. कि ये म्यूजिशियन इधर गया था गिग करने तो उसको ये राइटर मिल गया तो वो लोग ने बात कहना I'm like thinking like oh fuck ये लोग मिले थे ये लोग साइड में सुट्टा मार के बात किए रहेंगे ब्रो कि oh fuck हाँ रे चंडीगढ़ का crowd fuck all है whatever they talked about there. And now I realize we're the ones who are doing it in some weird level. Like, isn't this the same thing?
I remember once Kamakshi and I met at Geek Fruit ka party, okay, where they had like this Halloween party and everybody was getting sloshed. And at some point, Kamakshi and I are on stage doing like Beyonce Crazy in Love pe dance, okay, where like we're just like doing and she's following my lead and everything. And it was like one of those things that video she put on her Instagram. And I would go back, I'd bookmark it because I'm like, this is like a happy place for me. You know, this is where I'm like fully like Beyonce is coming out of my body, whatever. And I would go there, and like after a year, when she started becoming famous, she removed the video.
Oh.
And I get it for like, you know, authenticity of your, you know, whatever your Instagram feed needs to look nice and your work and everything. I just wish she had kept the video.
You can ask her, maybe she has it in her...
it might be like, you know, I think Karun K, the musician, he had...
Karun Kannampally, right?
Yeah, he had taken the video. So he might also have it.
Karun what?
Kannampally. He's a drummer.
Yeah, Karun K.
Okay.
Yeah. He also works with Tejas and Dinkar mostly.
My biggest obstacle to get into the Indian indie music scene has been my anxiety, because gigs are always in places and there are always people.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to be in a place full of people and experience something and have a good time. Like I remember the last few gigs that I've been to, and this is when I was much younger. I used to end up drinking too much. I would be like, let's get so sloshed that you... And then that was very awkward for the musician after the show. I would hang around and hug Tajdar Junaid for no reason. And be like, you improved the relationship between my father and I. Thank you, Tajdar.
Yeah.
That's for rehearsals, right? As in, if you do your rehearsals, maybe you're come prepared. Like, especially for Arifa and all, she also has like social anxiety and she takes her time to brew a song.
It's very different when it's a performance. I can do it if I'm performing. I can't go to watch.
Yeah, it's quite frightening.
The watching is the hard part. I'm not performing music, bro.
As in, the console is the best place.
Console is best spot.
Yeah, we need to make more sound engineer friends.
No need. Just
Just stand in front of the console. Yeah,
just be like,
sound is
how are you?
perfect.
Sound is also the best.
At About the Habitat, that's my place to go because I know all the people over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was like,
sure.
I'll go in that corner and be like, "Ki tu mujhe sahara de de," because there's too much like talking happening. And that's the thing, right? Like comics, we are so used to like being on the other side that if you put over here, we're like, what do you do with hands, dude?
Yeah, what do you do with your hands?
How do you interact with people? And then you're always worried about saying things to people, you know? Like even basic words become very difficult. Like, is this sentence okay? Am I allowed to say this sentence this way?
Yeah. In a smoking room, one guy is like, "Hey, you're that comic," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm that comic." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm that fucking person." I'm just like being sardonic for no reason.
For me, if I've forgotten the name, I have no one to introduce to.
Yeah.
Around me.
You should take their phone number and be like, "How do you spell your name?"
That's all of these are my techniques. You are using all my techniques, guys.
Yeah, and certain venues, you know exactly which venue. There's a side room which becomes a vegan space, as we all know. Where everybody's just like blowing it up, and especially if it's rappers. Like I'm just there for the passive high. I'm just like, I'll go into this room.
All the almond milk, it has fumes.
It has fumes, very, very bad for you,
It clears your sinus, but fucks your system.
Don't do vegan shit, guys.
Don't, no nut November, boys and girls. So no soy.
There should be like every month there should be an electrician, right? Like no oats October, no nut November, no dick December. Like, should just have like for every season. You know?
As long as electricians are there, kids will do it.
Yeah, no jerking off January. sorry.
That's no nut November anyway.
Yeah, but like in a different way.
No, it should be jerk off January.
Exactly what oatmeal is like a semen ka. It's a common joke, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I've never eaten semen that crunchy. Or at all, for that matter.
Natasha Leggero roast joke, right? Where like she reads, who's on the Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro. He's on the stage and he's like, "Isn't your semen at this point only oatmeal?" You know, that's one of the roasts there. And it's kind of stuck around with me.
I would prefer poha, but sure.
Poha, then it's very dry.
अबे कभी-कभी मेरे को डायरिया होता है ना तो दही में पोहा डाल के खाया तुम लोग कभी? It's very good, it's very fibrous. It slows down. It's either that or McDonald's. Both will shut your system down and not let you diarrhea. On that note, I think that's as the old ABBA song goes, diarrhea, here we go again.
Can I stop you?
Hey, but thank you so much, Savinay. Thank you so much, Nayantara, for coming.
Thank you for having us.
I hope this was as casual as we promised it would be.
It was
fun.
It was fun, actually.
Yeah, because you all seem so much more anxious than you seem now. I mean, I see
we were when we began, of course. Like, you know,
we were just wondering, like,
what do we say to these people? What do people want to know?
हम लोग तुम्हारे दोस्त हैं, तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है. वही बात है.
Bunkers.
Actually, ऐसे ही लग रहा है. It's been a while that in the afternoon we had fun.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know, and totally vegan fun without any almond milk.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting, fun way to do things.
Yeah, it actually is. Thank you.
But hey, thank you for listening. If you've been listening to this, we'll be back next week with another episode with myself, Aakash, and this gentleman here.
It's called Navin Narona.
Boom. You can follow everybody on this podcast on the social media. In fact, you should, because that's the least you can do nowadays. It's like, I mean, you can always send us 5,000 rupees, but follow is equally important right
Almost,
now.
yeah.
You can follow Misfits Inc. at the rate Misfits Inc.
Yeah.
It's Misfits-Inc.
.com or at Misfits Inc.
Yes.
Boom. Navin is House of Noron Ha.
And Aakash is Kuch Bhi Mehta and sometimes not Kuch Bhi Mehta.
And all of this is on IVM Podcast. That's at the rate IVM Podcasts.
Who would have thunk?
And all of these are actually on this platform called Instagram, which is at the rate Instagram.
Yeah.
And
Owned by Meta, actually.
which is at the rate. Fuck this. Okay. You know the drill. Thank you. Find this podcast wherever. Send it to your friends.
Good night. Take
Bye.
care.